Hi, guess you got to try out the Switch too early, and then you got sick, and then had other stuff to do. The point I'm getting to is, I'm pretty late to all this. I assume by now pretty much everyone knows Nintendo's gonna bring out a new game console in a couple of weeks. And for those who don't, it's pretty much the same as the last one, just with a bit more power behind it. Just a better console overall. Better graphics, better build, better gaming, pretty much what you would expect with a new console. And personally, I might be a Nintendo fan, as you might be able to tell by my name that I have here on YouTube, or my logo that I used to have. But man, when I saw that price... Yeah, that's a ton of money. That's a lot of money. So, because of that, I really didn't know whether I was gonna go and get myself one without even trying it first. But lucky for me, Nintendo organized a bunch of Nintendo experiences all over the world where you can go and try the Switch 2 before it even comes out. And then my brother asked me if I wanted to go. I said, sure. We signed up, and wouldn't you know, we actually won tickets. So we weren't invited, and so we won in a lottery of sorts. Which doesn't mean that we didn't qualify to be there. Personally, I think they must have seen my Mario Maker levels. So I got all my friends together, we booked a train ticket to Berlin, got a place to stay for the night, and went to try out the system. First thing I noticed when we arrived, there were a fuck ton of people. I don't know why, but I assumed there would just be like 40 or so people trying out the thing. I didn't expect 500. So we stood in a long queue, and then after that we went into the first room, which was a big red room with a bunch of people in it. Man, look at me all excited and stuff. Then we went into the next room, where they also greeted us with a lot of applause, which must have been for me. I assume they must have seen my Mario Maker levels as well. This one was a big Mario Kart room. There must have been like 100 Switch consoles in this one room alone. The way it worked is they put two people on one stand and you had to drive against one another. But that was also the first time when I got to try out the Switch, or at least the new Switch Joy-Con grip. If you know anything about the old Switch Joy-Con grip, it kinda sucks. It's a pretty shitty excuse for a controller, and giving one friend a Joy-Con grip and the other one a Pro controller pretty much tells them who you like more. But dare I say, honestly, the new Joy-Con grip is pretty damn good. The Joy-Cons are bigger, the buttons are bigger, the joysticks, you guessed it, are also bigger. It's just way easier to hold, it feels way more comfortable. Not like this one, which is like... But now let's talk about Mario Kart. Sadly, I didn't get to capture any footage of the game, so I will be using the trailers for this one. I played Bowser's Castle, I drove Mario in a big old muscle car. It looked pretty damn good, the game. Like, the graphics are better, the animations are way more alive and detailed, and overall it's super fun. It is a very different game, and the sound system feels very cool and is surprisingly hard to master. Also, the new items are pretty fun. What I don't think I've heard anyone say yet though is that the handling is completely different from Mario Kart 8. Like in Mario Kart 8 you kinda just hop into the drift and it's very snappy, very easy. And in Mario Kart World you kinda like slide, it's hard to explain, you like slide into the drift. It does feel very good though, and after playing Mario Kart 8 for as long as I did, I am quite happy that they switched it up a bit. I do have some complaints though. Number one, the tracks seem very straight and very wide for a lot of them, which might be because we played on 100 CCM, but also, the scenery isn't remotely as varied as it was in Mario Kart 8. You see, in Mario Kart World, all the maps have to fit together in one big open world, which means that everything has to look somewhat the same. While in Mario Kart 8, they don't need to do that at all, pretty much. You have Mario Circuit, Bowser's Castle, Animal Crossing, Hyrule Castle, Mute City. Fun fact about Mute City. The map is fucking huge. Like, I don't mean the track itself, but everything around it. Here's a top-down view of it. Fuck it, next to Vice City. Fuck it, next to GTA 5. It's a huge map. The point is, in one coherent open world, you can't give every track that big of a scenery and that varied of a scenery. It just wouldn't work. And then, after totally 100% not losing my first ever Mario Kart race, we went on to play one more race on the handheld itself, which they let us play with for a bit. Most obviously, the screen itself is really good. It does suck that it isn't OLED because the 100% will drop an OLED variant in a year or two, but the new 1080p 120Hz screen is still such an insane upgrade from what we got in the original Switch. Dare I say, I would take 1080p 120Hz any day of the week over OLED. I know. Really though, especially with Mario Kart, it makes quite the difference. It just makes the whole game feel so much cleaner and smoother overall, it's crazy. Another thing I heard no one talk about is the new texture of the console and the Joy-Cons. The plastic has a slight shine to it in a super quality way, and it feels really good to hold in the hand. It's probably pretty hard to show in video, but in person it looks super cool. Another obvious change is that the kickstand is now not turbo ass anymore. This one feels very sturdy and super usable. Not as good as a full metal one on the Switch OLED, but man, we can't all be as good as a full metal kickstand on the Switch OLED. From where I come from, it's still a super welcome change over the original Switch though, because this thing here, it just fucking disgusts me. One thing we didn't get to try yet though was the new magnetic releases on the Joy-Cons, because don't take them off, you're gonna trigger an alarm or something, dude. Shut up. Shut up. Then we finished our second round, talked a bit with the girl that gave us the demo, and then we went upstairs to the next part of the event. So upstairs is pretty much where most of it happened. You had multiple stands to play games and 4 hours to play whatever you wanted to play. Also, there were a ton of German YouTubers, so if you go and look, you might even be able to spot me in the few other videos. Also, I fucked up. My brother and I thought we saw a YouTuber I used to watch growing up, and when I went to him and told him I used to watch his Tomodachi Life Let's Plays, he hit me with a, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Cheap, if you're out there, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. At least I didn't get a picture with him though. My brother did though. Then we played the Mario Kart Knockout Tour. We played a bit of open world gameplay, I got to drive a big speedboat, and then the race itself started, and it was super fun. It feels like a mix of battle mode and racing, and it's absolute mayhem. I sadly only got footage of myself, but look at me. How focused, how determined. I did end up getting Mario Kart in the end and landed in 5th place, but man, that was surprisingly a lot of fun. Also, throughout all of that, my heart rate was on 142 beats per minute. I felt like I was gonna pass out. That cannot be healthy. I should probably go and see a doctor. No. Is the game worth 80 bucks from what I've seen yet though? It is a really good looking game, but from what I've seen so far, would I say it's worth being the most expensive standard edition game out right now? Not really. Especially because the physical edition is gonna be 90 bucks here in Germany. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I would say it's more of a 60 to 70 buck game, or just buy it in the bundle if you can. Also, I got to try the new Switch 2 Pro controller there, which feels pretty much like this one. It's pretty much the same thing. It's the tiniest bit better. Then we went to play Mario Party. I was told to film both my hand and the screen here, so if it looks a bit odd, that's why. This was also the first time when I tried the mouse mode and the HD rumble, and both of them are surprisingly very good. I didn't get to play any other game with the mouse later on, but from what I've seen here, the mouse works very well. And I can see this be a huge game changer for FPS and RTS games on this console. And overall, Mario Party was just really fun. The new minigames really use the mouse mode and HD rumble very well, and I can see myself picking the game up once it drops. Then we got to play with the handle itself again, and it's pretty much what I said already. The whole thing really feels super quality, and these magnets, man, for real, how do they work? The new Joy-Cons wobbled so much less than the original Joy-Cons, and you see how my old Joy-Cons have a major case of just sucking ass and just disconnect by themselves? Well, the new ones will never have that issue. You can even go crazy and put them on backwards for whatever reason. And really, these magnetic ones are so hard to pull off the console without pressing the button. They really are on that side. I even gave him a good... For legal reasons, I did not. I just really fucking... I do not condone any of this. Well, anyways, after that, we went to play some more games. Here's a picture of me from them where I did not steal the Switch to my mouth. I couldn't help myself. And then we played the last game I played for the day. That one being Donkey Kong Bonanza. I really don't have much to say about this one. It does look very pretty, that's for sure. And the destructibility is really impressive. But I feel like at least in the few levels I played, the platforming really did fall short. Like, I love Mario Odyssey, but this feels like Mario Odyssey if Mario were to be driving a bulldozer instead of jumping and running around. So far, it just kind of felt like hitting and breaking everything you see, and not much more than that. This is definitely one that I need to see more of to be convinced to get. But one cool thing is that when you shake the Joy-Cons left to right, Donkey Kong punches his chest in-game in sync with the... Okay, that's a 10 out of 10, IGN GOTY, best game of all time! Then we went over to the third-party section of the event, where they also had GameCube games, and that's kinda where it hit me. If you look at all these games in isolation from all other video game consoles, no graphics comparisons, nothing like that. The Switch 2 really is super impressive. Of course, GameCube doesn't count. If it couldn't handle those games, God be with Nintendo. But games like Cyberpunk and Street Fighter didn't only run on that thing, they looked pretty damn great. That definitely gave me some hope for that thing when it comes to future releases. But I didn't get to play all games. I didn't get to play Metroid 4, which really sucks. I'm finishing the first game right now, and it's really good. I didn't get to play the Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which I'm fine with. The game doesn't look good. And I didn't get to play Dragix Drive. which I wouldn't have wanted to play, but all of my friends who played it said it was a ton of fun. So maybe I'm missing out on something. But altogether, the event was just really nice overall. The staff working there was really fun. It was a super fun atmosphere overall. And they had damn good free vitamin water. Plus, we got a goodie bag. So I'm happy. And it was also really nice to be back in Berlin for once. I haven't been there since like 89. We do not talk about what I did there back in 89. We do not fucking talk about it. Now let's round up all the prices of all the stuff that I want to get, so I know how much I need to spend. Number 1, the Switch itself, obviously the Mario Kart bundle. Number 2, the new Pro controller. The old one also works, but why would I use the old one, even though it feels pretty much the same? Number 3, the GameCube controller. I don't have a use for it, but I kind of want it though. And then Metroid Prime 4, Mario Party, Donkey Kong, Cyberpunk, and a micro SD card. Yeah, I don't think I will be able to write that off my taxes. You know what? Scrap that. I'm only gonna get Donkey Kong.
It's the season of gaming.